Let's explore every possible scenario that could occur for this investment. What happens to the note holders if Woodville do not raise £200 million as expected? This bears no consequence to the note holders, as Woodville allocates money on a case-by-case basis. What happens for the note holders if a financial institution is willing to lend you the full amount of money needed at a much cheaper rate? In this case, we would simply close the bonds to new subscriptions, but would still honor existing investors. How does the company anticipate the possibility of a key executive leaving the company? The main key executives are Anne-Marie Bell and Peter James Legg. They are equity partners and therefore would not leave the company. A scenario in which the directors would leave would be if the company were to be sold. What happens if there is a change in regulations? We don't envisage a change in UK law with regards to business-to-business lending, and this would be a huge shift in lending regulations. However, if so, we would adopt to take into account any such changes. What happens if there are not enough cases for your company to continue your activities and pay back your debt? Included in our investor memorandums are informative market size details and research. We are asking for up to £200 million in a market that is worth multi-billions of pounds. However, if we recognized a substantial slowdown and could not see a pipeline of solicitors or cases onboarding, we would simply close the fundraise. Regarding the paying back of debt to investors, any monies raised have already been deployed to fund legal cases with appropriate security. Therefore, not having enough cases to fund will not affect our ability to repay debt. What happens if one lawyer goes bankrupt and is not able to pay back its debt? We have security and assignment rights over the individual cases we fund. In this instance, we would pick up our cases and have them run by one of our partner solicitors to see through to settlement. What happens if a case is lost and the ATE insurance refuses to cover the loss? It would depend upon the reasons for the claim being declined. If the claim was declined due to fraud, that would not be covered by the ATE. This is industry standard in such insurance policies. However, if the claim was declined for a reason that we believe is covered by the policy or ought to be covered by the policy, we would consider this to be a breach of the ATE insurance terms and conditions, and we could challenge that decision. What happens if your managing director resigns? Managing directors are equity shareholders, which is referred to in the earlier query concerning key executives leaving the company. If one partner did wish to sell, then the remaining partner would find an appropriate replacement. If both wish to sell the business, then the decision to continue the business's activities would be decided by the new owners. What happens if there is a change in my personal situation, divorce or death? In case of divorce, the question would be resolved according to the wedding contract made by the investors. If both of the spouses have made the purchase of the note, they would commonly decide which of the two would be the note holder. If only one of them has made the purchase, he would remain the note holder. The asset of the loan note would become part of the estate to split up, agreed between the parties. Upon premature death of a note holder, the loan note will pay out to the estate. What happens if I change country? The investor must then ask a tax advisor what would be the tax regime of the coupon payments in the new country of residence. What happens if I want to make a new investment after the first one? This is possible, and investors would then hold two notes with two different maturities. However, Woodville will probably issue a new bond mid-2021, and the conditions may be less favorable for new investors. What happens if my bank may not or refuses to buy the note? The note has an ISIN code which makes it possible to buy it through any bank. However, some bank advisor may prefer to favor their home products instead of accepting external suggestions. Woodville offers the possibility for investors to invest through direct subscriptions. This is a wire transfer of money, therefore your bank cannot oppose it. What happens in case of a new financial crisis? The note is not correlated to the financial markets. This has no influence. If you have any more questions, please contact your advisor.